Time is breaking. Echoes from the past whisper across centuries, and two souls once bound by fate are called once more to face the storm. The stones are waking, and history itself is trembling. In the shadows of the Scottish Highlands, a love that defied death and destiny stands on the edge of its final battle. The air is heavy with mist, curling through the green hills of the Highlands like a living memory. The world feels still, too still, as if the land itself is holding its breath. A single crow cries in the distance, and the sound fades into silence. The camera glides slowly toward the ancient standing stones, worn and cracked by centuries of wind and rain. Their surface glows faintly, as though something deep within is stirring after a long sleep. The voice of Claire Fraser breaks through the quiet, low and filled with emotion. Time is not a straight line. It bends, it breaks, it remembers. Her words echo softly, overlapping with faint whispers of the past, laughter, gunfire, the cries of war, and the beating of hearts that refuse to surrender. Images flash before us. Jamie standing on a battlefield, drenched in blood and smoke. Claire reaching for him through the chaos. Brianna watching the stones pulse with light, fear flickering in her eyes. The world they fought so hard to build begins to blur around them. Jamie's voice joins hers, calm, deep, unshaken. We fought kings, armies, and time itself. But this feels different. His hand rests on the hilt of his sword as if instinctively sensing that destiny is once again closing in. The camera shifts to a wide view of the Highlands as thunder rolls across the sky. A storm is coming, and it's not made of rain, it's made of history. Every war, every promise, every loss they endured has been leading to this moment. The fabric of time is tearing, and both past and future are calling them to answer. In a candlelit room, Claire studies an old journal, its pages filled with notes about time travel, bloodlines, and mysterious patterns of energy. Her face is tired but determined. If we don't act soon, she whispers, the stones will close forever. She looks toward the window, where lightning flashes and for an instant reveals Jamie's reflection beside hers. He isn't there physically, not yet, but his presence lingers like a promise as the storm builds. The standing stones begin to hum. The sound is deep, ancient, and alive. It calls out to those who have walked through time, demanding one last sacrifice. Claire takes a step closer, her hand trembling. The air ripples, and her wedding ring glows faintly in the light. The voiceover returns, strong and emotional. Every choice they made has led them here to the edge of time itself. The final chapter begins not with a battle, but with a heartbeat, and a promise that love will never fade. The screen fades to black as the sound of the stones deepens. Merging with the rhythm of a distant drum, the call to war, the call to destiny. The world does not end with fire. It ends with silence, the kind that comes before everything changes. Over the rolling fields of Frasers Ridge, the wind carries a strange hum, faint but persistent, like the whisper of the stones calling from across time. The camera pans across the mist, catching glimpses of smoke from distant battles. The revolution rages on, but here, something far older and far greater is stirring. Claire stands at the edge of the ridge, her eyes fixed on the horizon. The sun is setting, but the sky looks unnatural. Streaks of violet and gold twist together like torn fabric. It's beautiful, but wrong. She closes her eyes, and for a moment, she feels it, the pull of the stones. The same energy that once tore her from her world is rising again. It's happening, she whispers, her voice trembling not with fear but recognition. Time is bleeding. Inside the cabin, Brianna and Roger pore over hand-drawn maps and yellowed journal pages. Roger's handwriting is shaky, his voice tight with worry. Every marker we tracked, every ripple, it's converging here. On this ridge. Tonight. Brianna looks up, determination flickering in her eyes. Then we stop it. We protect them. Her tone carries the weight of someone who's already lost too much to time. Thunder rolls again, closer this time. The camera shifts to the forest line, where shadows move between the trees. A faint shimmer ripples in the air. Not light, not mist, something in between. Jamie emerges, his coat soaked with rain, his sword at his side. His face is weathered but unbroken. "It's begun," he says quietly. He doesn't ask for proof. He doesn't need it. Jamie Fraser has always known when fate is at his door. As the night deepens, the ridge becomes alive with unseen forces. Candles flicker without wind. The air hums with pressure, heavy and electric. Claire feels it in her bones, the past and future pressing together, trying to collapse into one. She looks at Jamie, her voice low. "If this storm breaks through, everything we've lived, every battle, every love could unravel." Jamie steps closer, placing his hand on hers. "Then we'll hold it together, you and me." As we always have, the voiceover returns, soft yet filled with urgency. History has many wars, but only one that defies time itself. And for the Frasers, this war is not fought for land or freedom. It's fought for the memory of love. Lightning cuts across the sky, illuminating the stones on the hill, glowing brighter now, alive, humming like a heartbeat. The storm has come, not just of wind and thunder, but of centuries colliding. The final battle between time and love has begun. The night has fallen like a curtain of iron over the highlands. Rain cuts through the dark like blades of glass, and thunder growls from beyond the mountains. A sound that feels less like nature and more like a warning. But beneath that storm, something older is waking. Not a man, not a god, but time itself. The screen flickers between moments minus 1746, 1778, 1948, all bleeding together in flashes of color and memory. The faces of the living and the long dead flicker like candlelight in the same breath. The past is no longer behind them. It's here. It's hungry. Inside the cabin, Claire stands before the fire, her reflection trembling in the glass. Her hands shake as she studies the maps Brianna laid out, swirling circles and lines marking the fracture points. "It's spreading," Claire whispers. The barrier between the years is collapsing. Her eyes are tired, haunted. She's seen war, death, heartbreak, but never this. This isn't something she can heal with her hands. Roger turns from the window, lightning flashing across his face. It's the stones. They're opening where they shouldn't at random points in time. People are vanishing. Entire places are being rewritten. His voice is steady, but his eyes betray the fear underneath. Then a noise. Not thunder this time, something worse. A low, rhythmic hum that vibrates through the walls, shaking the floorboards. Jamie bursts through the door, soaked in rain, his sword drawn. "Claire," he calls out, breathless. The men at the ridge, they vanished into the fog. I saw it with my own eyes. One moment they were there, and the next, gone. Claire looks at him, eyes wide. Gone where? Jamie meets her gaze. Not where Sassenach. When? The fire sputters as if the world itself recoils. A photograph on the mantle. A picture of Brianna as a child begins to fade at the edges, the ink dissolving like smoke. Brianna gasps and grabs it, but it's too late. The picture is gone, erased, like it never existed. Roger turns to her, panic rising. It's starting already. The paradox. Outside, the storm shifts. Lightning doesn't flash anymore, it tears the sky open, revealing glimpses of another time. For a heartbeat, we see soldiers marching through the mist, muskets raised, ghosts of the past crossing paths with the living. Claire whispers, almost to herself, time is rewriting the story. Jamie steps closer, placing his hands on her shoulders. His voice is calm, steady, the anchor in the chaos. Then we'll write it back, Claire. Even if it means defying the very heavens. The camera zooms in on the standing stones glowing on the ridge. The sound rises, a deep, pulsing rhythm, like a heartbeat and a war drum combined. The voiceover cuts in, it's filled with dread and awe. Every love has its trials. But theirs was forged not in one lifetime. It was bound to all of them. And now, time demands its price. As the lightning fades, the screen plunges into black, leaving only the echo of a heartbeat, steady but slowing. The war between fate and love has begun, and time has just chosen its side. The rain has stopped. The world holds its breath quiet, too quiet, as if time itself has paused to listen. The air glows faintly blue, and the scent of earth and smoke lingers in the wind. Through the fog, we see Claire and Jamie standing at the edge of the ridge, the stones pulsing with a heartbeat that isn't theirs. Their faces are lit by the strange light, two souls standing between what was and what must be. Claire's voice breaks the silence, soft but weighted with centuries of emotion. We've lived through battles and plagues, loss and miracles, but nothing has ever tried to unmake us. Her words tremble like a confession. She looks up at Jamie, searching his eyes for strength, the kind of strength that has carried them through wars and lifetimes. Jamie takes her hand. His palm is rough, the skin marked by years of fighting, of holding on when everything else fell apart. "Sassenach," he says quietly, "I've never fought for a crown or a cause, only for you, and if time itself means to take thee from me again." He pauses, eyes fierce and unyielding. "Then I'll fight the devil himself to stop it." The wind stirs, carrying faint echoes, their own voices from years long past. The laughter of their youth, the cries of battle, the vows whispered in secret. Memories slip through the mist like ghosts. Claire hears her own voice, younger, saying it was always you. She closes her eyes. "It's like the past is remembering us," she murmurs, in the cabin. Brianna watches the light from the ridge flicker through the window. Her hands shake as she holds her mother's old journal, pages filled with drawings of the stones, of energy patterns and time equations. "Maybe love is the constant," she says to Roger, her eyes wet but certain. "Maybe that's what holds everything together when time breaks apart." Roger looks at her, realization dawning. Then they're the key. Jamie and Claire aren't just trapped in time, they're what keeps it alive. The camera shifts to the stones again. Each pulse sends ripples through the ground, past, present, and future overlapping in waves of light. For an instant, we see flashes of all they've endured. The cold and battlefield, the shipwreck, the burning homestead, the birth of their daughter, every heartbreak, every rebirth. The voiceover rises, steady, emotional, filled with truth. Time can erase names, battles, and kingdoms. But love leaves scars the centuries cannot heal. Claire steps closer to the stones, her hand hovering just above the glowing surface. The light dances over her face, part fear, part wonder. Jamie watches her, knowing what she's about to do. "Claire, if you go through again," she turns to him, eyes fierce with tears, "then I'll find my way back to you. I always do." For a moment, everything is still there, eyes locked, hearts racing in perfect rhythm. Then, a burst of light. The wind explodes outward, scattering leaves and sparks into the air. The stones flare once and time bends. As the light fades, Jamie stands alone, reaching for the air where she once stood. The ridge is quiet again, only the hum of the stones remains. His whisper breaks through the silence. "You'll find me, Sassenach. You always do." The camera pulls back, showing the vast, misty highlands stretching endlessly. The storm has passed, but something much larger is coming. Something that will decide not just their love, but the fate of time itself. Lightning splits the sky. Not with light, but with memory. Shards of time crashing into the present. The ground trembles beneath Frasers Ridge as echoes of centuries roar through the air. The battlefield is no longer bound to one era. Redcoats from the past and soldiers from the Revolution flicker in and out like phantoms, caught in a loop that shouldn't exist. The world has become a storm of history, and at its center stand is Jamie and Claire Fraser. Jamie's face is streaked with dirt and rain, his eyes burning with that fierce, unbreakable fire that has carried him through every war, every heartbreak. He grips his sword, the steel glowing faintly in the flickering light of time's collapse. "This isn't just a battle, Claire," he says, voice steady over the chaos. "It's judgment. Time's come to collect its debt." Claire, drenched and breathless, holds not a weapon, but her medical satchel, her instrument of healing, of hope. "Then it will have to kill us both," she replies. Her voice cracks, not from fear, but defiance. She glances at the ridge where the standing stones pulse like the heart of the earth, each beat shaking the air around them. History folds. The sound of muskets mixes with cannon fire, then morphs into the scream of something deeper, the cry of collapsing time. Figures flicker in and out of existence, Highland warriors, American soldiers, strangers from futures not yet written. For a heartbeat, Claire sees herself older, standing by a grave. Then she blinks, and it's gone. Roger and Brianna race through the forest below, papers flying from their hands. The fractures are converging. Roger shouts, "If they don't close the loop, everyone will be rewritten." Brianna's eyes fill with tears as she looks toward the ridge. They'll never leave each other, no matter what it costs them. She stops, clutching the old silver ring her mother once wore. But maybe that's the point. Back on the ridge, Jamie and Claire stand side by side as the wind howls around them. The stones blaze brighter now, blue fire swirling upward, dragging the mist into a spiral of light and shadow. Jamie steps closer, his hand brushing hers. "If this is our end, then let it be together," he says softly. Claire looks at him, the man she's loved in every time, every life, and nods. "Together," she whispers. The storm erupts. The ground splits open, revealing glimpses of other ages, castles, cities, battlefields, futures unknown. The energy tears at them, threatening to pull them apart. Claire clings to Jamie's arm, her voice breaking, "Don't let go." His grip tightens. "Not even death could make me Sassenach." In that moment, love becomes their weapon. The light from the stones bends toward them, wrapping around their joined hands. The storm's roar fades beneath the rhythm of two beating hearts. Time screams, then stills. The voiceover returns. Slow, powerful, final. They were never meant to conquer time, only to remind it that love endures beyond every age. The light bursts outward, white, pure, endless. When it fades, the ridge is empty. The stones are silent. The storm is gone. Only a faint echo remains, the sound of a heartbeat.
Ow.
One honest of cropper, I'll say I'm all with I go. I'm gonna get all when I gonna go on what alright. I'm gonna one real. The storm has passed, leaving the air heavy with silence. A silence that feels sacred, almost alive. Mist drifts lazily between the stones, carrying the faint scent of rain and heather. The world looks the same, and yet something is different. Time itself feels softer, as if it has finally taken a breath after holding one for centuries. The ridge is empty now. No soldiers, no thunder, no fire, only stillness. But in that stillness, the echoes remain. The stones no longer glow, but if you listen closely, you can hear it. A faint heartbeat pulsing beneath the earth. Steady, eternal. Cut to Brianna standing by the stones, her coat fluttering in the morning wind. Her eyes are red, her face pale, but there's no fear, only understanding. In her hands, she holds her mother's journal, the pages torn and damped from the storm. She opens it slowly, and there pressed between two pages is a single lock of red hair. She touches it, and a tear slips down her cheek. "You did it," she whispers. "You fixed it." Roger steps forward behind her, his arm wrapping around her shoulders. "Or maybe," he says softly, "they became the fix." He points toward the stones. The readings are gone. No energy, no distortions. The timeline's stable again. His voice trembles slightly, half in awe, half in grief. It's like they gave themselves back to time. Brianna closes the journal and holds it close to her chest. "Then they're not gone," she says. "They're everywhere." The camera pans upward, past the stones, into the rising sun. A faint shimmer appears in the light, two silhouettes, hand in hand, walking across the ridge. Claire's voice echoes softly, her tone calm and distant, like a whisper carried on the wind. We are part of every moment now. In every heartbeat, in every dawn, Jamie's voice follows, steady and warm. Love Dasna, die Sassenach. It just changes its shape. Their figures fade into the light as the scene transitions to Brianna's home years later. She sits by a fire, her children asleep nearby. On the table rests her mother's journal, repaired, bound, preserved. She opens it once more, the ink shimmering faintly, as if touched by the energy of the stones. On the first page, a new line appears, not written by her, but by time itself. Through love, we found forever. She smiles through her tears, closing the book gently. The flames flicker, casting shadows on the walls to intertwine shapes. Familiar and eternal. The camera drifts back to the ridge one last time. The wind stirs the grass, carrying whispers of laughter, soft, joyful, alive. A butterfly lands on one of the stones, its wings glowing faintly blue before fluttering away. The voiceover returns, quiet and final. Like a heartbeat fading into memory, the story of Jamie and Claire Fraser does not end with death, nor with time. It lives in every heart that dares to love beyond reason. Beyond years, beyond fate itself, screen fades to black. Text on screen, Outlander, the final battle between time, love, and legacy. Forever isn't a promise, it's a memory that never ends. The screen fades from black into the soft golden light of sunset over the highlands. The camera drifts slowly across the moors, where the last of the day clings to the grass like liquid fire. The stones stand tall once more, silent sentinels, watching over the centuries they have witnessed. Everything feels peaceful now. No hums, no storms, no tremors. Only the sound of wind, steady and free. A single voice begins to speak, calm, reflective, and filled with ache. Every story has an ending, but some endings are not meant to be mourned, only remembered. As the voice continues, faint ghostly images shimmer in the light. Jamie and Claire walking hand in hand through the fields. Their laughter carried by the wind. Their faces are calm, timeless, and full of quiet joy. They fought history. They defied time. And in the end, they didn't win or lose. They became part of the very thing they tried to save.